guys hear me in YouTube land?
S&P Iceberg by ES 705 contracts.
Please let me know. Having technical difficulties as usual. Thank you, Deborah. Alright, I'll be back in 90 seconds to these disclaimers.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as the express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit that loss is made limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any comparable result will achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results in all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Analysis and subs I share are trades, potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. With all of this room to teach trades, I identify specific areas to trade and manage themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky if you decide to follow my personal journey, so no risk, and potentially lose your entire company even more. I'm not responsible and I have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values, and I'll be able to exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade, as it has entry prices and stop prices for long and short positions depending on which one you personally decide to trade. Good morning. Oh, already getting notifications from my trade room, I think. Hold on. All right. So watching current meltdown of equities continue. This is on cue. I'm waiting for a retest of this setup here. Actually, hold on. Let me get my drawer going here. So I got some new monitors. Replaced my old ones, and things are kind of scrambled. Hopefully, this is going to work. Anyway, this is the last volume event here in NASDAQ. I'm waiting for a retest failure, and I will take a short. There was nothing here for me to be aggressive. We'll go over some of these trading strategies where I'm either aggressive, first move out of the zone, or I wait for at least an ATR, a retest, and a failure to get in. So we'll go over that. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I'm on a different screen now. I'm not used to being on the screen looking at it, so I might make some mistakes here. If I'm talking and showing stuff that you're not seeing, let me know. That means I'm on my other screen that I used to be on. Anyway, let's take a look. So I'm currently long crude also. I went long. At the time, it was the lug. We call it the slug, this trading strategy here. Stop run at major lug, slug, and this was an aggressive entry we just talked about. Sometimes I'm aggressive, sometimes I wait for the retest. This one I was aggressive, even though it didn't quite retest, but this was the stop run event here. So you guys hear me talk about these Ludwig levels every week. This actually occurred, this stop run occurred before I started this sort of draws the zones now with the zone drawing tool that we have that we're beta testing in my room. If you want to try it, it's going to be in Bookmap beta test here, I think next week too, so you'll be able to try it out for free for right now. But anyway, it drew this zone before I even started this book on my main computer, but I saw it and I took the trade aggressively as soon as it broke out of here. And it's working nicely, probably because I haven't been watching it. Let's see here. So that was a slug, and again, it was actually a mistake trade because I guess we drew new lugs. A lot of times, if you don't refresh your Sierra chart, you got to refresh it with this button here. but I technically shouldn't have put that on because it did draw new lugs. But at the time, these were not here, so I took it. So it worked out. I think it's the first one that's ever worked out in my life when I made a mistake. Just kidding. All right, so we got a new event here in ES as well. We got some buy ice. There was some buy ice here earlier. I was waiting for a retest of this. That did not happen, and now we have more buy ice here. Bigger picture. We've been talking about this for days. My trade around this market was in both these markets, or all the equity markets look like they're in major trouble based on market structure and thesis. So this was a failed breakout of this balance
NQ
area.
stock sell NQ 223 contracts.
Got through the high volume, gap through the high volume node, and then it's just been straight down since. So we've been catching a lot of these moves. So when I'm a day trader, I'll trade both ways, even if I have a bearish thesis. But when the market's moving in the direction I think it should, and I get volume events, which is the most important part of my trading and should be of yours as well, because it's what drives markets. When I get volume events in that direction, then I will trade bigger size and as an A+ trade. So let's see what's happening here. Finally got an event here. So this one's off the table. I always divert, whatever the word is, to the most recent volume setup. So I technically cannot go short this event that I was waiting for a retest now, because this is so far the new event just occurred. And if this does make it back to that prior event, this will be a bullish setup, so I can't take that prior setup. So this is the latest one. So now we see where we're at. See if this is an Izzy zone. Not quite. So these are, we call them Izzy zones. They're inflection zones. It's just where important things happen on the chart. The 4 important areas of charting. So tops and bottoms of balance areas. So I delete them too once the market trades through them a bunch of times. But tops and bottoms of balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, directional conviction, and buying and selling tails. Those are the areas that I draw these zones. So you can draw them yourself, or you can. I give these, in my trade room for free, or you can. Now I have this. I'm gonna put this in the YouTube as well. So this is the sheet with everything that I'm doing in here. So this is my new indicator course to learn about how to trade my specific setups and settings, and everything's in this new course. And then if you want the new zones, or the zones here, this is this site, you can get access to the spreadsheet or the zones or both. So this is all included in my trade room if you join my trade room. But if you some people can't, they have regular jobs, they can't sit in the trade room, then you can get these independently if you'd like. Let me put this in the, it's not this. And then this is everything that I'm using, right? So there are discounts to all these things. Bookmap, obviously. Marketplace for the MBO bundle that you need to get the SI indicator, which is the driver of my trading. Most important thing powerful thing I've ever seen. Apex, we'll go over that. They actually have a new 90% sale that they just started, so that's take advantage of that. We'll go over that later. Spot Gamma, we'll go over Hero and stuff today. Tick Strike, that's actually, I gotta get Tick Strike rolling here. Hold on. Hopefully the market's away from me while I get all this stuff going. They usually don't. And I don't see where, that's not good. So I switch monitors and now my...
Silver stock sell SI, 130 contracts.
I do not see my Tick Strike, guys. Anyway, let me put this in the YouTube room and then we'll draw those events that just happened. And if you guys have any questions, comments, put it in the YouTube channel. That's the one that I'm watching right now. Even if you're in Discord, try to put it in YouTube. You can put it in Discord, but I might not see it right away. I'll see it, eventually, but I won't see it right away. All right. I could have potentially got out of a couple of more crude here at VWAP, but I did not. I usually don't get out of VWAP unless it's confluent with something else that I look at, and it's really in the middle of nowhere. It's in between these two market profile composites here. So it was basically right here. So there was nothing for me to get out there, so I still have that 3/4 of that crude trade on. I got out of a couple when it touched the top of this market profile composite earlier. So anyway, let's see where we're at with MQ. So we are entering this prior market profile composite from a while ago. So this is a potential pick trade for me. Profiles encourage trade. I'll go over that here in a second. When you get moves into the tops or bottoms into these market profile composites, market many times will bounce off of them, and this is an aggressive entry. So we do have a volume event here. So if this pops out of here, I will go long aggressively. So meaning I don't wait for the retest of the zone. So let's get this zone in. Again, it was nice in the market to wait for me here while I was doing everything else. My buddy NASDAQ. NASDAQ and I have had some issues lately. We're trying to work through them. Let's see here. So you can see where the stop run started. So I'm looking at this spike down here. You know, these Bookmap webinars, I go over the basic stuff a lot because there's always new traders on here, right? So this is the spike of the stops. You can see it on the on chart. The sweeps, these are these black bubbles. That means someone was sweeping the order book. Sweeps get first right to the orders, then the stops come in. So you never really know, are the stops up here because the sweeps get first right, or because they'll come in after the sweeps are done. So you got to basically draw out where the sweep starts. Well, I see these sweeps up here too, but I know that stops were not up there because the market traded back up. You see these blue bubbles. So I don't include, I know the stops weren't here. They potentially could have been there, right? So I know they, I don't know if they were here or here, so I'm just going to draw the top of the zone there. And again, this is the new zone drawing tool. It's awesome. 14301. You get this. We're beta testing this in my room. Again, it'll be hopefully in Bookmap by next week. The Bookmap Discord. So sign on to that, and you can try this thing out yourself. It is night and day between using this drawing tool and getting to edit mode, drawing the horizontal line, exiting edit mode, drawing a line. It's just, it draws it. They're not always perfect yet because it's still in beta testing. They're drawing how I told the developer to have them draw, because I used to draw every price that happened in the spike. Well, we've learned over, it only took me about 7 years to learn this correctly, but this, when you see a flat line like this, the prices that happen after that are not part of this. It's the spike, and then because I have this on reset mode, right? So when you look at these settings, and I go over all this in my course as well, I have this on reset mode. So it means it's going to draw any stop run for a minimum of 10 seconds, right? For 10 seconds. So the stop run could be 1 second, and then it'll just keep drawing this for 10 seconds. So a lot of times the prices, like this one, the prices did stay within this spike, but a lot of times you'll see like a move, like you'll see the stop run. Well, I'm sure we'll come across one today, right? Wrong color. So you see the stop run here, and you see the red line end, and then you'll see a bunch of prices like that, and it's just flatlining. So that means that was not part of the stop run. The stop run was part of this spike. This is just continuing to the second market. We'll see that with icebergs too. I have my iceberg set for a minute. It's probably a little too long, but icebergs take longer to develop a lot of times. Stops are instantaneous. All right, I may be missing a trade here now. This thing's all over the place. Goodness gracious. All right, so let's put the zone in the spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet that I tell you guys about that I'm using.
Russell Ice Iceberg by RT, 152 contracts.
14301 to 14298.
Index 71 out of 100 equaling green. And taking a look at the VIX, currently up 5.1% at 21.
That's the squawk that you get part of my room as well. As part of my room. And we put in the current ATR, so we're using a Wilder's Thinkorswim. Well, it's on Thinkorswim. It's on. You can get it on Sierra Chart too. It's just the 5-minute ATR. This is telling me, you can see right there in the middle left there. This is telling me the current volatility of the market. So that means it's rotating about 33 points every 5 minutes. Very, very important that you're adjusting your trades and your entries and your exits to volatility. This is the second most important thing you can be looking at. Markets respond to volume events and volatility, right? So you don't want to be using, I go on the rant every single week, you out there that love to put in your trades and just risk. I love trading NASDAQ and risking 10 points to make 30. great. 10 points risk some days is perfect. Other days it's just noise, right? You can see this thing is whipping around 30 points at a time. Then that's the ATR, right? So if you're putting a NASDAQ trade in and you're just risking 10 points, you are almost guaranteed to be whipsawed out of the trade. You might get lucky. A couple of times, but over the long run, if you are putting your stops as static stops, that you're always risking a certain amount, you're not going to do well overall. So adjust to the volatility. All right, so I have parameters how I determine if this is a bullish or bearish setup, right? Actually, let's keep an eye on ES too, because I know how much you guys love trading that crappy ES. Let's see. I shouldn't make fun of it. That's where I made all my money, but all right, let's put this zone into, since Nasdaq's just chopping around. All right, so this was 805 buy ice. You can see it on the chart there. That's one yellow line. So let's just see how this.
Gold stock sell GC 381 contracts.
See how this happens.
Silver stock sell SI 228 contracts.
Go over to gold in a little bit. So you can see this started to spike, and this was the trigger right here at this price. You see these sell bubbles and this black. Someone was trying to swipe it on top of it, sweep it. That's these black bubbles. It triggered buy ice. So they ran into a mouthful of buy ice, right? And it kept triggering at this price, right? That's this increased. So the market moved away. You wouldn't include these prices in the zone. Came back, triggered more. Then it flatlines. Spiked up again. You can see it's just at one price here, right? And then it flatlines. So this might be a one price zone, which is pretty rare, but it does happen, and this is. So this zone is 41.85. This drawing tool only goes to within one tick, so it's not going to be exactly one price, but it's 41.85 is your zone. And you can see, look how the market bounced off that area, right? This is the whole premise of what we're doing. Like, these markets respond to these areas, they come back to these areas all the time. We have a trade that literally plays for a move back to the zone. It's called a reversion trade. I'll go over that too at some point. Let's just put this in. This is a spreadsheet again. You guys all have access to this now if you want. On that other web on my Pulcinitrader.org website. This thing is a godsend. You just plug in the zone, you plug in the ATR, and it spits out all your prices. Where you would go long, where your stop would be if you went long, where you would go short, where your stop would go if you're going to be short. And then these are the validation prices, how I determine whether the volume setup is bullish or bearish. I've learned over, again, watching 4 million of these things, that when the market could push an ATR away from the volume event, that is a bearish occurrence, and it's very likely to continue lower. If it pushes an ATR above, it's a bullish occurrence, very likely to push higher, right? So I'm just playing percentages. It's all percentages. Nothing's guaranteed. This is probably the closest guarantee you're ever going to get in trading, in my opinion, is trading these volume events, and either position trading. So we trade, again, two different trades. We trade these as position trading events, where I'll get in and look for bigger moves, or there's a reversion event where we literally get in at 1 ATR for a pop back to the zone, 2 ATR, or 3 ATR, right? So other than that, it's just, we're just playing probabilities. That's what trading is, patterns and probabilities. All right, so to make this a short setup, it needs to touch 78.50. Let's see if that happened. That right to the tick, not a coincidence. That was the ATR, right? So you can see how these algos, when the markets get away from these volume events and ATR, then they start to snap the thing back, and that's why I determined. So this is now a bearish setup. Now there's a couple ways I can trade this, right? I have a filter for, so again, these trading strategies, right? So if you see it,
Iceberg by RT 151
I
contracts.
gotta get over to Russell. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. If you see aggressive, I'm not paying. I don't use my algo guy feature, my algo guy filter. I'll go over algo guy here in a second. If I see ATR retest confirm, algo guy has to be agreeing with it. And I just call this algo guy. All this is an exponential moving average, right? The blue are the shorter term moving average. These are just different periods as bands, and it just forms like a ribbon, right? And then the red are the longer term. Again, you get the settings in my room. You get settings to everything I'm using. But I post it every week If you want to learn about this, I'll try to post it here in a second. But it's a very useful tool because algos are 85% of the market. There are so many algos that are trading off of this thing, right? So anyway, this is bullish. This pulled across. I'm sorry, bearish. The blue pulled below the red, so this could continue to trade now. And you saw what happened yesterday when this thing was bearish, right? And it could not pull across. It's actually been a few days. So look at this. Like I tell my room all the time, like you get a position trade on and you want to hold one, you can say I'm going to hold one until this thing finally crosses, meaning the blue crosses back above the red. So you could have been short here. It would have been after hours on what was this, Wednesday, and you could have held this thing. You see how it just keeps retesting the longer term. It just keeps going. So you can catch some mammoth moves, literally just saying I'm not going to get out of a portion of my trade until this thing crosses. So you would have been out after 2 days, basically right here. And then this is telling you something too, because many times when this thing crosses and it can't hold, and then when it crosses back again, then you usually get another wave down, and this looks like what's happening here. All right, so natural gas numbers coming out here in a minute as well, a few minutes. All right, so for this trade, let's see where we are on the chart. If there was a longer term chart, what did I do with it? All right, this quickly. This looks like it's a bear sub too. You gotta keep adjusting your ATR too until you get filled. That's what I do anyway. 32.56, so pretty similar. To make that a short setup, I needed to touch 65.50. Did not get down to 65.50 yet, so this one's still in limbo, and potentially how I will trade it.
Russell stock by RT 200 to contracts.
So that volume event happened. I gotta get used to this new screen, guys. I'm not like literally, it's like a screen above what I used to use. It's like throwing me off. Hey, look at that! It retested the zone. What do you know? So if you guys took my trade room's taking these one and two ATRs and threes. So let's see which one's what. Looks like the 1 and the 2 got. So the 1 ATR you'd have been long at 41.79. You stop out at 71.25. That one survived. So you're out at the zone. You're out as soon as it comes back to the zone, 84.25. This is all populates in this spreadsheet that you guys have access to now. The long you would have been, are they 2 ATR long? You would have been long at 73.25. Stop it. Obviously never got there. So I think you got both the 1 and the 2 on here. No, didn't get to the 2, but got to the 1. So the 1 worked. The trade is literally you get in at the 1 and you're out of the zone. Done. So now, but as far as my position trading, and you saw those strategies, now I can take Barks, blind, ATR, retest, confirm, that I just have funny acronyms for these names, for these strategies, and I can take lick. You see this liquidity down here, right? These markets have a ridiculous propensity to head to the volume, liquidity, because these guys are the big traders. These guys push the market around. How do I know that? Because I used to be these guys. So I used to push the market around. So I know damn well what they're doing. Right? So when you see liquidity that's just sitting in here forever, I'm not talking about fleeting liquidity like this. These are algos whipsawing everybody. I'm talking about stuff that's sitting here. So just think about it. If they did not want to get filled, they wouldn't just sitting. So if something comes out right now, something gets bombed somewhere, there's a headline every 20 minutes now. This thing's going to rip right through here. Well, they obviously don't care about that, right? That means they want to get their fill. So it's not where you look at this and say, "Oh, look at all this support down here, man." And all it's showing you is the order book as a heat map form. I don't, and you shouldn't look at this as, "Wow, I want to be a buyer because look at all these buyers down here. They want to buy." No, you want to be a seller, and at least until these guys get their fills, and then possibly it'll go up, right? So look at liquidity as magnets.
Iceberg sell ES 700 to contracts.
So we got a new setup here. I will still take a short off of this first event. And the new event's basically right in here. This might be the buy ice that said, "Oh crap, we're wrong," and getting out. You never know. Obviously, you're never going to know, but you just use this stuff to judge. And again, guys, this is what drives the markets. These kind of orders. So they're supposed to be hidden orders. We can see them, right? The big money can't be real happy that the CME's released this information, and that's fine. Like I said, my opinion, it's just my opinion that they did this because the retail trader was becoming a dinosaur like 2016, 2017. Algos were like over 90% of the market. They still are pretty close, but I think they threw a bone to the retail trader by letting us see this information, right? And then this was a game changer. This is what got me back in the business. I was out of the business because I could not make money trying to compete with these algos. When you can see this information, you are getting all of the information. If you're not using this, you're not getting all the information. I say it every week. I don't care how great of a trader you are. If you're not using this, you're not getting all the information. You can be even a better trader, right? So the whole idea is to use these volume events in areas that you deem important. So I have my areas that I welcome traders, and that's what I teach in my trade room, to learn, and you may like my areas, you may not like my areas, and that's fine. You don't discount this stuff though. There is no doubting what's going on here, and you need to understand the relationship with this in the areas that you're trading. It's literally that simple. The simpler you can make your trading, the better you're going to do. I say it every single day. All right, so this is a new event. Technically, if this didn't get an ATR above this first event, I can still take a short off of what I was going to do here. But I think it may have, so let's just check the spreadsheet real quick. So to make that, to invalidate the short, the market needed to touch 91.50. It did not get there. So I can still technically take this short on this spreadsheet off of this first buy ice, we call it broken ice. It's one of my 6 distinct setups, and there's a 7th one on the way. Called hot knife through butter. I'm not going to go into that on these webinars, but so my entry price is $77.50 as of right now. I could put on 7.
Net gas iceberg by NG 151 contracts.
Get these set up real quick. Then we'll plot this new zone in case it goes higher. Then we can potentially go long. 77.50.
We have posted the weekly VIA natural gas storage change report on the feed for all those interested.
That's Bart, and then I'm going to put on Lick. All right, so those trades are working. So if it comes back to 77.50, I'm short. It shows you your quantity too. That's the great thing about this, right? So you plug in your zones. You plug in your ATR. Actually, I got to make sure this is right. This is actually higher now, 6.84. So now my entry is actually 77.25. You plug in your account size. So again, for all these different strategies, I'm using different Apex accounts. And more than half of them are close or halfway there to being funded, right? I do this for multiple reasons, but I want to get the stats for each one of these. So I have an actual Apex account assigned to each one of these things, right? So you plug in. So in this instance, because it's Apex, we'll go over Apex trader funding. It's the one that I back. That's the one I believe in. They're popping up all over the place. They do everything they say they were going to do, and they've been doing it for close to 2 years. I've been with them, right? And I use them and I recommend them. So they're legit. So that's all I can tell you. From what for 2 years, they've been completely legit, and they do everything they say. And I've been paid by them on these accounts. So like a lot of these accounts have gone live, and I've been paid on them, stuff, and so on and so forth. So anyway, for these accounts, I'll just show you real quick since it's just kind of bouncing around here. Actually, it's better if you go on this. So this is on this sheet too, right? So if you click on this will show you the code too. So this is my code. Right now there is 90% off, right? So no matter what their discount is, you always get it using Pulcini 50, right? So I personally use the $150,000 accounts. Are they $150,000 accounts? No, that's the one thing I don't like about it. When they, when trading, all of them do the same thing. They're like, oh yeah, 150,000. It's not 150,000. It's 5,000. You lose 5,000, you're out. Right? So I don't know why they don't just say 5,000, but it is what it is. I don't have many complaints about Apex, but it's a $5,000 account, right? So I'm risking 10% of these $5,000 accounts on trades. If you go live on these, so once I go live on these different strategies, and they'll all be live eventually. It takes, some of them is taking longer than others, but I will go down to probably, you usually don't want to risk more than 2% of your account size. I'll probably make these 3%. I definitely won't be trading 10%, because if you're trading 10% of your account size value, you're going to have a day you're going to have a horrible day, and you're going to blow out of your accounts. So my point is, I'm about to get filled on this original setup, by the way. My point is, actually let me move this. I said 77.25. Hold on. This thing's whipping around, man. My point is, if you are trading, a normal account, say you got a $50,000 cash account, I would not be risking 10%. Make it 2%, 3% at most, and you should stop yourself for the day at, 6%. So if I'm trading 2%, that means I can basically have 3 losing trades, and you're supposed to be done. You should be done, because I'm telling you guys, you think, one more trade, and then you go on tilt, and all of a sudden you find out you blow 80% of your account. It happens all the time. It's happened to me so many times. I've told you guys the stories of me losing 2 different days, 800 grand each day, probably within seconds, all because I didn't respect my $100,000 loss rule. So this was back in the day when I was a big scalper in my trading firm. But I didn't respect it. My trading firm didn't respect it because it was negative reinforcement, because certain days they would let me go further and I'd make it all back. And then there's certain days that I kept going and I would get absolutely blown out. So don't blow your accounts. That's what I'm telling you. All right, so I'm close to a fill here again. What I'm doing is this didn't violate to the upside as far as violating this to be a bearish setup. So I'm still going to take that original ATR retest failure if this trades 78, 77 quarter, right? If this one does, I could also trade this. It's pretty much going to be the same because the zone's pretty close. Let's make sure it's accurate. Probably should have already done this. So this was sell ice.
Hey, Scott?
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. Can't hear me? Oh.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hold on.
Can you hear me, Scott?
I can hear you. You obviously can't hear me. I'm trying to.
Okay, no, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
What am I doing? What am I doing wrong?
Looks like
I knew I was doing something wrong if you popped in.
something's got to be wrong. Yeah. So no, it looks like your OBS like selected space is just it's not giving you the column data on the subchart. Can't see the SI indicator.
Oh crap! Hold on. I've got this. Is what I was trying to explain in the room. This is why I had problems earlier.
Okay, so go to basically you will hit bit, I think, into this.
Where at?
The workspace screen there.
Hit what?
So
This is a new monitor. That's the problem. I mean, I could go back to my different monitor.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll let me switch
Okay,
it.
so no, take the red. See that red outline there?
This?
Yeah, that's what you need to drag it around to fit to the screen correctly.
Hold on.
No, it's in OBS. It's that you.
No, yeah, no, I see. I'm just
handles.
moving it to a different. See, it's showing me on mine. It's showing the red has the whole screen. You can see right here.
No, but see the kind of striations on the right hand side there.
This?
Yeah, that's not. It's not showing anything there. So yeah,
S&P
there you go.
stock
Oh,
sell
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
629
Hold on.
contracts.
So it still doesn't look quite right, and we gotta wait in YouTube here. So I think you should be able to just fit it in there. Can't you just right click on the? Hold on, let me double check here in my OBS, and fit that window directly to it.
I knew these new monitors were going to cause me problems. Sorry about that. People in YouTube land.
Yeah, hold on.
How about Discord? Is Discord seeing the right screen? I would hope, or the full screen. All right. Either way, I'm filled on my short NES.
Discord is fine.
Okay. All right. While you look at that, I'm going to so quickly.
Okay.
Actually, you guys can't really see half my screen. It looks like, but anyway, I got filled off of this.
Yeah.
I'll show you the events here in a second. But now we got a new event too. So now I got filled, and now I can trail my stuff. You can't see it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to. Maybe if I just go to a different screen. I don't. Hold on. Let me try to go to the screen.
Now, can you pull that down? Like there's a handle there. Yeah, pull that down.
Yeah, but then it goes off to the right.
It scales it. Yeah.
Let me try to get on this other
So
screen.
you need to create a new workspace basically.
Okay.
A new screen there.
All right, how do I switch monitors here again? What do I properties? Oh wait, display cabinet here. Let me try this real quick. just for this webinar, and then I'll get it set up for next week. Whoops, I want to do that.
Well, let me get Dan here. He knows how to do this.
Oh, there we go. All right, let's see if I can find this other monitor. Sorry guys, bear with me here. That's not working. Yeah, this is not, I don't know why it's not picking up my,
Oh, so try a new display, and let's set. So close this. And,
oh wait a second. This,
over on Morgan Stanley.
yeah, see, that's not working either. Like, this is my smaller one, and that's not working
No.
either. All right, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I guess I could do it over there. That's a huge monitor. It's only giving me a part of it. All right, so do what now?
All right, let's try this. So go to a new scenes, and then in OBS close this, and then go over to scenes, and then hit the tab for a new scene. Yeah, no, the down below, the plus tab. Yeah, okay, do a new one, and then double click on that new scene. Okay,
Nothing.
and does it come up with anything? No. Yeah. I'm not sure what to do here. Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can.
All right. Either way, I'm gonna. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm trailing my stop to this, so I'm plugging in these new values because I'm short. 41.77 is the top of the zone. 41.75.50 is the bottom. ATR, current ATR is 7.10. So now I'm going to stop out to this, and that my stop will go, and it looks like I'm going to get stopped out pretty soon here. 85 quarter. It's already there, pretty close. Well, but I'm going to show you how I limited my risk here because of this new event. So I'm only going to lose a fraction of what I would have lost based on this new event. Hold on, 85 quarter. All right, so that's working. That pops up to this. That's what I'm referring to here. I don't even know if you guys can see this, but this pops up to 85 quarter.
Okay.
I'm out.
So Scott, try this. Go to OBS on the under Edit on the top left,
Yeah,
and then go Transform.
yeah.
And then do you have an option there to fit to screen?
Yeah.
It should be down there. Try that.
Right, but I'm on the new scene. It's not. Should I go back to the Bookmap live stream and try it?
Yeah, try that.
No, it's not giving me anything. Hold on.
Because you need to select the screen there, or the scene.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys on YouTube. This is
Hold on.
kind of an issue here. Okay, that's good. Yeah. And then fit to screen. Basically, you need to create a new source, which I don't see sources on your list there. And then
Right there.
you'll create a new display, make that visible, and you'll fit it to the screen, and that's it.
So, how do I make it?
So click on the.
There.
Yeah, there you go. Now click on the other one. See where the little eyeball is? Okay, deselect it. No, the other one. Deselect and reselect. Yeah, there you go. Try that.
And
And that's not. So that's not showing anything right now.
So that's the display capture 2.
That's working. Yeah.
Now how do I
Now
fit
go
the
up to
screen?
edit and fit screen. See if you can do that. Transform. Edit, transform. And then fit screen. There you go.
That was easy. Hold on. Now, let's not get all excited yet.
Yeah, let's see.
You see the SI subchart?
Yeah, that did it.
All right.
Okay.
Goodness
You're all
gracious.
set to go.
All right. Sorry peeps.
Okay.
Didn't miss much,
Thanks,
but
Scott.
thanks for helping me.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Sorry guys. Again, technology is not my strong suit, and especially with this. I'm about to get stopped out though. So what I did here, I just stopped right now. So I was short off of this event. Got what I wanted to see. I still technically can go short. Well, no, I can't. But what I did was I went short off of this event. I got in a 77 quarter. A new event happened. You see these stop runs. This is a Dumb and Dumber now, meaning with stop runs, it's not usually real selling. It's just guys puking, right? So they puked them out, and then I trailed my stop originally was above here in ATR, above this event, and I trailed it to that. So I just stopped out. So took a minimal loss based on a new event, right? So now this is how trading is. It's probabilities. Now I'm just waiting for my next event. This is the new event. Let's see if this was an Izzy zone that I could have potentially. I should already be long. Then hold on. Might just flip this. Gotta find the yes here.
Russell Iceberg by RT.
No, not quite.
151 contracts.
So there's nothing here for me to trade off of us on the long side. Algo guy is still bearish. So if this flips, then I'll, if this pulls back above, then I'll look for longs. I mean, I could take longs, but this was not an Izzy zone. It didn't get down to here, an inflection zone. So if I would have got a short, a bull shut up in here, I would have taken a long. We're right in the middle of these two zones here. So I'm not doing anything on the long side right now. What will be important to see as it gets back into the zone. If I get a volume event, then I can take an Izzy short. So nothing in ES. Hold on. See if there's anything with the lugs. The other thing you want to watch, see what Spot Gamma's doing. I posted some stuff on this yesterday, the hero. Yeah, it's not really doing much today. So guys, you got to realize, like, there's just, I'm going to be doing a webinar with them too here. It's probably, I think it's on Halloween. I'm doing it for all my members and everyone that follows me. So if you go to my website, put your email in, and then you get a notification when we're going to do it. I'll put it on Twitter too. But and then they're going to do one with them. But I'm going to do one with them. The point is, guys, this is not red light, green light stuff. This is these are options hedgers, right? So this is showing the option hedging flow, and it's showing you what they're doing, the options activity, and then the dealers have to hedge their options. They are just one part of the market. They are a big part of the market, and there's certain areas you really, really want to pay attention to what they're doing, right? But it's just like saying in certain times, oh, I'm going to buy or sell because there's blue bubbles or red bubbles, right? They are actively participating in these markets. Some areas it doesn't matter, or some moves on this thing you don't trade every blip on this. There's going to be, and we're going to go over this in the webinar, there's times when you see big moves on, you've got two different colors here. One's one's next expiration, one's all the options trades. This one's the 0 date to expiration, and it expires today, right? There's times when this thing spikes, and you can see the notional value over here. When you see like 1 billion or 2 billion notional value options coming in, you want to pay attention, because these guys are actively trading futures. So anyone who says, oh, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't lead, doesn't do anything, you're out of your mind, right? It's just, they're big players, and you want to pay attention to when they're all loaded up and they're all hedging, right? So we'll go over that on the webinars, but guys, I wouldn't look at something or put it into my trading if I didn't think it was important. That's one thing I do have is a little experience. I've been trading for 25 years, right? I don't just randomly or lightly throw stuff into my trading. If I am talking about it and using it, you may want to pay attention. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. Just like the SI indicator. If you don't think these volume events are important, then don't use them. But I'm telling you, you're making a huge mistake, right? And spot gamma is the same way. There are times where you really want to pay attention to that thing, especially at spot gamma levels. And I don't use anything in a vacuum. I only use my areas, hero, my Izzy zones, the lugs, whatever. I don't use anything by itself. I wait to get confirmation with the real-time volume, and that's what I keep trying to get across to you guys. You may be using something completely different. Doesn't matter. Make sure you're getting this kind of activity to judge. That'll be, you have a much higher probability in your trade, is what I'm saying. All right, somebody. Surprised I didn't see that on the YouTube earlier. So I'll get to your questions here in a second, guys. Someone just texted me something there. You only see the recording software? Even right now, Madam Shizzle? No, I see it on YouTube. So hopefully it's there. All right, so let's get to some of your questions. So, so this is the great thing about these volume events too, right? It's like I got a volume event, I trail, so I don't just trail my stops randomly so I get stopped out by algos. I trail my stops to something that happened in the market meaningful. So I was able to get out of that trade basically right there, or whatever it was, 85, right? Instead of holding this thing all the way back, it's 10 points through there. So, if you had here's a perfect example. So for what I'm looking at, there was nothing for me personally to go long here. You may have had an incredible area here. It could have been your, Bollinger Band or your MACD or the 50-day moving average or 200-day moving average. And then you get this stop run and you say, that's go time, sell stops. This is a Dumb and Dumber. This is one of my six distinct setups that I trade off of. A Dumb and Dumber means the dumb money puke is not usually really real selling. It's just guys puking. It's not initiative selling by big money. You could have taken this trade the minute it breaks out of this thing, and there's different ways to enter it here too. Again, this is the science. How you trade these is the art. You can use my method of trading them because I have so much experience. If you get 4 million under your belt, trade them however you want, right? Point is, you could have got in long right when it broke out of the zone. You could have waited for an ATR. Either way, you'd be in this trade. For me personally, there was nothing down here for me to aggressively take this trade. Right, but you can see if there was, you might have been looking at something and saying, "Wow, this is a great area." And here's your event. You get long, you trail your stop to under the event, and you catch a 20-point straight up move. See what I'm saying? So yes, I would recommend, because of all the experience I have with these things, you learn the way I trade them. But then I tell my room every day, I don't want you being a robot doing everything I do. I want you to get experience, trade them like I trade them, use.
Stock by ES. 779 contracts.
Right, so this is an Izzy zone, so I might go shorter. Trade them like I trade them, and then as you get experience with them, then start to put your own flavor into it. Like, I don't like going long into Izzy zone. I don't like going long into the red lug or the red lug, stuff like that. Guys, this is about you developing your own trade plan. It's not about mirroring my trades. So that's what my trade room's for. It's to teach you guys how to do it yourself. Right? There's so many people that come in my trade room and they just want this mindless buy here, sell here. That is not what my trade room is about. It's about teaching you to do this for yourself, which is what you should want to do. What if I walk outside and get struck by lightning? Then what do you get? If all you do is mirror my trades, then you're out of luck. You're out of trading, right? Learn how to do this yourself. This zone is accurate. 41.99, 97.75 is the bottom. 4,200 is the top. Let's plug that in, and you can see these are moving in tandem. So the options market is agreeing with this. Where you could say, and this happens all the time. So say the market just said the white is the market. Market did that. Say the options kept going like this. Then you get a stop run. You're like, that is a great short. The options are not agreeing it, because you got to remember, guys, these are guys that are fading the market. These options have to do that because they are getting loaded up. They have to hedge themselves. There's no question on what they need to do. So it's not happening right here, but it happens all the time. You get the market moving like this, options are going like this, and just use it as literally down is bearish, up is bullish. You can go down the rabbit hole. We're going to be doing webinars, but look at it that way. If you get that kind of move, and then you get like right here, you get a stop run, and okay, I know that's not real buying, that's just guys puking, and the options market's not agreeing with this move, and this is an important zone. That's an A++ trade. You see what I'm saying? So this is back into the zone. I will take an Izzy trade here, and it's close to the bottom of this. This is yesterday's little tiny balance. It's almost there. Those are great areas to short too. So this zone is from something that happened a long time ago, but it's still relevant right now. You know, until I delete these zones when the market like trades up and down and up and down, then I get rid of them. But if they keep showing that they're important, I keep trading them, right? So now we have a volume event. If this fails, I'm going to go short. You could say, this is another example, right? We talked about using your own stuff. You could say, I'm not shorting this. You see, I mean, you may love Hero. You should love this thing because there's times that it is just incredible, just like anything else. Anyway, you could say, screw that. I'm not going short. These options dealers are you know, they're covering whatever. They're hedging themselves big time here. This is a big move. This is what I was just talking about. This thing just moved from basically 0 to 2 billion. You know, we'll go over this on the webinar. I don't claim to be a Hero expert. I'm just using it in a very basic sense. I do know a 2 billion notional move is a lot, and that's why you see the market ripping too, right? So I'm telling you guys, pay attention to that. You don't want to, don't do it. I was arguing with a guy yesterday on Twitter. Oh, it's just noise. It's not just noise. These guys are major players. The options dealers are major players in this market. You know, it's just noise. I don't trade every blip, but I pay attention. So anyway, let's get the zone in. Enough of that rant. Just watch it yourself. Everything I'm teaching you guys, watch for yourself. If you don't believe me, get Bookmap, replay your days, draw the zones, use my rules. Find out. You should want to find out for yourself. You shouldn't take anything blindly from anybody, right? So get Hero. If you go on here, it's right here. Actually, it's not here.
Iceberg by RT, 155 contracts.
On my website here, I forgot what the code is. These are all this is everything I put in there, but you can get the Hero for 2 weeks. So it's already 1 week free. You can use Scott 50 for another week. Get it for 2 weeks and see for yourself. That's all I can tell you. You shouldn't believe anything I say anyway. Figure it out for yourself. Or confirm it for yourself is what I should say. All right, so that's the zone. ATR is 7.15. So I will short this aggressively because it's an Izzy zone, right? When we talked about this earlier. Izzy trades are aggressive, meaning the first ATR move out of here, I am going short. 89 quarter, I could put on, then it tells me this is why this thing is so great. It tells me my price, it tells me how much I could put on based on my account size and what I want to risk. So I'm going to round up to 6 because I still think these markets are going to get smushed. Might get, you know, I'm not saying I love this short right here, big longer term, but these markets are not bullish by any means. All right, so I'm not going to trade double size here, but I will round up is what I'm saying, right? So just tell me to put on 5.2. You can't do that, obviously. I'm going to round up to 6. I'm short at 89 quarter. So let me put that in here. Oh, by the way, my crude trade, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Thank God it's still sitting there because I would have totally missed it because of the mishap with the viewing software. Hold on, I'm trying to find this. So what did I say that price was? 78.75? 780, I'm sorry, 89.25. I'm going short. Now, where will I cancel that order? If the short gets invalidated, that's the price. I'm sorry, that's the price. 42.07 quarter. And I know a lot of you guys are new, and you're like, well, how do you know that? Well, just because I've learned from watching so many of these, I know if this market can push a full ATR above here, that is, because you're fighting these algos that love to snap it back to this amount. If it can get to the ATR or beyond, that's showing you something bigger is going on, and you want to trade that way. So, as long as this doesn't trade 07 quarter, I'm going short this setup, and it's in my Izzy zone. Let's see if there's anything else here. So the other stuff I use are low wiggle levels. These things are ridiculously, incredibly powerful. Second most powerful thing I've seen next to the SI indicator. Not seeing much here. This did bounce off one standard deviation of VWAP. So you want to pay attention there too, especially when there's no volume running through. Volume's okay. You can see it over here. Relative volume talking. We use relative volume. This is literally showing me just this time period, exact 5-minute time period for the last 30 days. Very important information to have. We use this all the time in my room. Anyway, it bounced off one standard deviation. Not that I was going to do anything there, but there's nothing really here for me to, besides the Izzy zone, to go short aggressively. Like if this touched the red lug, I would definitely short. And this is what I showed you earlier, even though it wasn't technically a slug in crude. At the time it was because I didn't refresh my thing, but I was taking the bound. There was a stop run. I'll just show you this here now because I got to trail my stop now. And this is exactly how I do it, guys. You notice I told you I got out of a third at the market profile composite. This was the stop run into the lug. I got long. I got out of a couple or a third of them at the market profile composite low or high. I'm sorry. At the time that was this. Let's see if I already have this. Yeah. So at the time, these are just areas I get out. I'll show you that document here in a second. But I got short down or long down here, and it came up to here, and you can see it struggled here for a while. So I got out of a third there. Actually, I should have been out of a third right there. I just wasn't paying attention. Hold on. I get out of a third right now. I still have 4 on, so I'll get out of 2 more, and I'll keep 2 on. Hold on. Come on. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this new event. You see right here. Hopefully you guys are seeing my sub chart now. Sorry about that. 248 sell ice. That means a big house just sold secretly. I'm doing air quotes because it's not so secret because we can see it. Their whole idea, guys, the reason firms use icebergs, big money use icebergs, because if they throw look at the orders in this order book. They threw a 200 lot in here. These algos are going to just swipe it down away from the order. They're trying to make the whoever that entity is chase their orders, right? So that's why they have to hide their orders. Well, it's really important if you can see what they're doing. That's why I said that. The big money I said at the beginning of the webinar. They can't be real happy we can see this information now, but we can. So take advantage of it because it's the best information you're ever going to see, bar none. All right, so that started there. You can see it on the black. This was my on-chart indicator as well. And it basically, actually, a little bias was coming in, but that was down here, so I don't have to include those prices. And then you can see more, it spiked up, more came in up here. See right there, and that was the spike, and then it just flatlined. So I'm going to make this my top, my handy dandy new drawing tool. You guys will have access to this, and you get it right now in my room if you come to my room. If not, it should be in Bookmap next week, Bookmap Discord, like I said earlier. All right, so that's that. Let's plug that in. I'm going to trail my long stop to this, 84.10, 84.07. So back to the spreadsheet. Plug that in. I'll get to you guys' questions here. Oh, dummy alert. I'll get to your questions here in a second. I got thrown off by that OBS crap from the YouTube stuff. All right, 28.2. So I'm going to trail now. If I, off of this new setup, if I was long, I would stop at 83.75. Well, that's where I'm going to stop my long from way below. And it's basically almost there right now. So I got out of 2. I should have been out a little higher. I just wasn't paying attention to it. And it actually just didn't quite get to 75. So that comes back to 75. I'm out of my trade. And that's where I get out. I get out. So I will hold the last portion. I get out of certain areas. I don't have my trading in the zone document up here. Actually, I can pull it up. Hold on a second. Just to show you guys. I know I show this stuff every webinar, guys, but it is, there's always new traders. So this is my trade room. Actually, this is not my trade. Yeah, it is. So let's go here. Should be. That's trading strategies.
NQ spot sell NQ 151 contracts.
All right, we got stops. Where is this thing? Here it is. All right. So I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. And these are the areas I get out. Obviously, Ludwig levels. This is where I got out of some we just talked about. Market profile, composite highs, lowest point of controls, VWAP, extreme standard, especially if these are confluent with one of these other ones, right? But then I get out of my full one at the major lug, red or blue, depending on which way I'm trading, or a new opposing SI setup, and that's what you're seeing there in crude. That's a new setup. I trail my stop to that. That's not that. I'm about to get filled on my Izzy short here in ES. Hold on. So this is what I trail my stop to. So I avoided the stop here. This might have been lucky. I just didn't get in. It was supposed to be a 75. Yeah, I would have been stopped out to the. Yeah, I would have been stopped out. So I got lucky as of right now. It'll probably come back there. But if it comes back to 75, I'll be out of that trade based on this new event. And now you can trade this new event same way. So let's see. Is this? I might have already should have been short. Let's see. No, nothing doing here. No Izzy zone, so it's not in my zone. And I don't see anything. There's nothing in on the lugs either. But this technically is a bearish setup, right? Because it got to the prices to make this a bearish setup. Validation price, 83.79. And by the way, the 1 ATR worked if you're doing the reversion trade. So this is the other trade we're doing in my room. You would have been in 82, stop out at 48. You're out at the zone. That's that. Boom, boom, right back to the zone. Happens all day, every day in all these markets. If you guys love scalping, that's your trade. If you're trying to scalp off this order book, good luck. What did I do? Oh, I just filled on the ES short. All right, we're short. Izzy, ES, give it another shot. I was already short the first time and I stopped out, lost a little bit. I trailed it to this event. Now I'm short again. I shorted off of that important zone, and I shorted aggressively. Got the volume event. Why won't this stay the color I want it to stay? Took the short. First move out. So we're short, and then we'll start looking at areas where I will definitely pay attention to getting out. I look at prior volume events. I mean, this one is basically right where I entered, so I'm hoping it's probably going to bounce off here at least once, because these are just prior events where traders were loaded up, right? So it's probably going to do one of these. And guys, when you expect the ATR reversion, if you're taking that trade, when you're expecting it, you don't crap your pants when the thing does that, because it does it up 70% or more of the time from my studies, right? So meaning most traders say you just mirrored my trade, which you should not be doing. You should be trading on your own. Say you got in with me, and then the market starts going like this. You're like, oh crap, I gotta get out. This is just, guys, you're just getting algoed. I expect it to do that. So when you expect it, you don't crap your pants. You just sit here and say, okay, do whatever you want. As long as you can't get an ATR above this, I'm in it. Speaking of which, I need to put my stop in for this short. So I entered. Just make sure, you gotta make sure before entry you're up to date on this, up to the minute on that. It's pretty much the same. So I entered at 89 quarter short, stops at 08.25. Now you guys rolling your eyes at the, oh man, you're risking, it even shows right here. I'm risking 19 points on this trade. Well, guess what? I'm adjusting the volatility, right? It doesn't, I don't change what I want to risk. We talked about this earlier. I change my size. This changes, so watch. If this ATR spiked up to 15 or 14, now I can only put on 3. This changes automatically. This is what you change. You don't impose your will on the market and say, I only want to risk 3 points. That's just asinine. If you really think about it, you realize how stupid it really is if you're doing that, right? So what I make this market do to prove me I'm wrong is to get a full ATR. We've already talked about why I do this, a full ATR outside of this. So for me to be wrong on this trade, it's got to come back at least an ATR right now. It's got to get through the volume event where traders were run over potentially, right, on the stop run. And then an ATR out of there. Other than that, this thing could do this for 2 hours, and it usually does, right? So don't get algoed. I tell you every single week. What I will watch is this prior event here. If this does spike down here, if this starts to bounce off this event, I'm going to get out of a couple, because this is one of my predetermined areas I get out. Same day volume events. So I am short. It's 4 points in my favor. Not very much right now. I'm about to get stopped out of this crude, but that's fine. It was a decent winner. All right. Just quickly, I'm going to draw this NASDAQ zone. Hopefully it's still hanging around here, and then I'll get to your guys' questions. All right, I just got out of the rest of those crude. I lost my tick strike today. I don't know where just because I switched monitors, I lost everything. I have no idea where this stuff is. I got to build all new. Where are they at? I have no idea what's going on with this thing. Really weird. So you're not going to be able to see tick strike today, sorry guys, unless I get a chance to build it up. Things are dead. All right, so this was NASDAQ. My buddy NASDAQ, 154 stops, that's threshold. So I have certain amounts that I trade off of that are meaningful. There's certain, so, you know, a lot of times when guys get this SI indicator, like a kid on Christmas Day, like they want to trade every single spike on this thing, make sure it's threshold. So again, that's what my course goes over to. I have the individual thresholds for each market. What's important? What's an important event? What's an event you just should ignore, right? So 150 is important in NASDAQ. So I'm going to trade that event. You can see the swipes started up here, sweeps, but the price went back and forth. So I know the stops weren't there. So then I'm going to, and I also traded that price too. So I know it wasn't there. So I moved it down to actually right there. So you got to start it where the sweeps, so you get the sweeps with the Global Plus, Bookmap Global Plus. Highly recommend you get that so you can help you draw your zones. So that's where that, you have to assume the stops started there. I mean, you see it spiking here later, but these sweeps get first right to the order book. I go over this every week, but people are confused sometimes on that. So I have that as the bottom actually, because then it flatlined pretty much. I mean, it came in a little bit here, and this is picking that up. Let's see. Do I need to draw this zone down an extra 3 points just because of this was like 3 more contracts, 3 more stops. I'll just move it up to here. My handy dandy drawing tool. All right, so that zone's 32 to 28. Plug that in there. $332. I can't remember for 2 seconds what my say. 14,332. You see what structure this brings, though, right? Like, so many traders are just sitting at their thing, trading off of their gut, throwing in orders. This keeps you grounded in structure, and it's the edge. It's the edge, right? In my opinion. So, again, if you don't believe me, get Bookmap, replay the days, and draw these things yourself, and use my rules, and you'll prove to yourself. But the point is, it's all structured. So I'm not sitting here like, oh, I feel like this is going to go down. Oh no, it's going back up. Oh, I'm not. How many traders are doing that? That's who you're trading against. So you should love something that's, you know, systematic, that you know works, and that's what I go over every week too. So most traders struggle with the number one thing. We talked about this in my trading room yesterday. We talk about it all the time on these too. The number one thing is having an edge. Well, most traders don't know if they have an edge. They'll see something work a couple times. They'll throw it in their, you know, they'll start trading it, and then it doesn't work for a week, and then they give up on it, and then they move on to the next thing, right? Well, I've been doing this for 5+ years. I've been doing it for close to 3 years in my trade room, right? Many traders have been trading the same stuff. This is the edge, right? So you know you have the edge. So you don't have to worry about that. Then you have to be able to implement and follow the rules. That's where traders get in trouble. I had a trader yesterday. I won't say his name on Bookmap and completely embarrass him, but he got a little bit of a verbal lashing, which I give him time to time on my trade room. And he's like, well, yeah, this is a slug in gold, but the last couple that they kind of ripped through, so I'm kind of afraid to put this one on. And I gave him the exact quote or chapter from Trading in the Zone, right? And that's what this whole thing, actually I don't have it up. Oh, yeah, I do. Where's it at? That's what I was showing you guys earlier, right here. This is from Mark Douglas. This is straight out of Mark Douglas Trading in the Zone. Yeah, I put my own stuff in here, but this is exactly what he says. This is out of his book. Anyway, he's got a story in the book about, this is like one of his first things he talks about in the, hold on, let me just make sure I'm not supposed to be short here aggressively. In the book is about, no, there was nothing there. All right, so this is perfect. So I already got 10 points in this trade in this ES short. Now we have a new event, and I'm watching this whole event. So if this bounces at all, I'm getting out of a couple here. I got 6 on, I'm going to get on 2. And then we'll trail the rest of it to this new event. I'm just going to get out of 2 here because I can't. I'm going to be on other markets. So why did I get out of 2 there? I just talked about it. This was a prior event. I didn't quite get down there. I kind of, I probably shouldn't have got out of 2 there. I thought we were down closer to this prior event. So anyway, regardless, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this new zone in, and I'm going to trail my stop to this new event. Do you see how systemized this is? Regimented, whatever the word is, right? You don't sit here and like, I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to keep going. This volume event should not turn bullish if this market is truly going down right now, right? So I understand stop runs are not initiative selling, but we have an actual, one of the 6 setups is called a stop and hold. That's when you get a stop run and it actually holds the area and continues lower, and that means the big money's coming in as well, right? So regardless, let's just draw this and we'll trade it for what it is. If this gets an ATR back out to the upside, I'm going to stop out and pretty much as a scratch trade. For the rest of it, I got out of 2 there. I shouldn't have. I should have waited a little lower, but it was pretty close to this prior event, right? So, again, I got to do this on these webinars because I can't keep a close eye on it. So, regardless, let's put this new zone in. 4180, 7825. Go to your spreadsheet. 4180, 4178 quarter. ATR, very important. It's up to 7.73 now. So now if I were to short, my stop would be at 89. Well, that's where I'm going to stop out of this prior short, right? So this is what when a new event comes in, this affords you or allows you to do, right? So my stop, we just talked about it. I was risking that 19 points or whatever. I mean, from my entry to the stop, but my stop was an ATR above this volume event. Now we get a new event. I take that stop and I bring it down to that. That's an ATR above that. So if this comes back, I'm basically going to scratch the rest of this trade. I got in at 89. I forgot it was 89 quarter. And I'm stopping out. I'll make 1 tick on the rest of them. This is how you need to be trailing your stops. This is what I do. I'm basing my stops not because, oh, I love my profit here, man. I've made 10 points. I don't want to give that back. I don't want to give back my car payment. No, I'm basing my stops based on something that happened in the market. The market doesn't care. You don't want to give back your car payment. The market cares about volume events and volatility. So put your stops based on that stuff, right? And that's exactly why I just stopped out of this crude long. And you see the algo's messed around in here, by the way. You see how that?
Stock sell RT, 203 contract.
I've missed a ton. I don't even want to look at Russell right now. I know I'm going to get upset because there's been stuff firing off in there all morning. I haven't even looked at it. Anyway, here is the volume event. It should not get below here an ATR if this is going to be remaining, a bullish setup. But you can see it violated and heading lower. I've already saved myself however many tips. What I got out 75 or something, right? Those are my rules. And guys, that's the whole idea when you read Trading the Zone. I didn't even get to that story yet. He talks about this exercise, right? That's down here, and this is how the ATR reversion trade was born. Because I kept saying, guys, okay, I'm going to wait for a retest here. I know these markets retest these zones 75% of the time or 70% of the time, blah, 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 or more. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I know something is a 70% trade, why am I not taking advantage of that trade back to the zone, right? So that's how, because I was going over trading in the zone in my trade room. This was last September. And I said, hey, listen, this is in the book. Do it. Pick any market. Choose a set of variables. My variables were when the market moves away, 1 ATR, 2 ATR, 3 ATR, you get in the trade. And then we built the trade off of that. We built it in my trade room. I'm going to have a course on that out. It should be done this weekend. And you guys can, if you're not in my trade room. But that's how that trade was born. So you can do it with anything. So I forgot why I got on that tangent. But back to the story of the trader who's got the verbal lashing yesterday in my room. He's actually been in there for a while, so it was even more embarrassing for him. It should be. I hope he's on there listening to this. Anyway, what I was saying is there was a setup, one of these trading strategies in gold. And it was the slug, which is one of the best trading strategies. Stop, run a major lug. And his exact words were, I would show it to you, and I don't want to single him out for the whole world, but he's like, I already said this. He's like, I usually, this is a slug, but I've seen this thing rip a couple times when I took these. I'm not going to take this one. Guys, so the story is, in Trading in the Zone, it's about a little kid. Went up to, it's like the first story he talks about. Goes up, he loves dogs. Every time he sees a dog, he runs up to it, jumps on it, pets it, blah, blah, blah. For, first 20 dogs that he did it to, they were nice, lovable, playful dogs, right? So imagine as you start trading, your first 20, this is the analogy, the first 20 trades are all winners. That's the lovable dog, right? And then he runs up to a dog that is a bad dog, bites him in the face. After that, guess what? He doesn't run up to dogs anymore because he got bit in the face. Well, what's the analogy of getting bit in the face in trading? A loser, right? Or a couple losers. You put on, so say he put on the slug and he lost. And he put it on again and he lost. That's like the dog biting him in the face. So he's thinking all dogs are bad. You see how that if you can think about it in that manner. The point is everyone knows all dogs aren't bad and all trades aren't going to be losers. That's why you have to consistently, if you have an edge, that's what I've been getting at, this is the edge. That's why you consistently have to keep putting the trade on with your rules if you know you have an edge. I told him too, 80% or more of my trades that I put on feel terrible. They feel like they're gonna be like this one didn't feel good. This thing looked like it was going to the moon, right? Did I hesitate? Nope. I said here's a Dumb and Dumber into my Izzy zone. I'm taking the short, 10 points and counting, right? That's the point. If you can't do that, you're not going to be a profitable trader. Period. End of story. Stop wasting your time. Go work for the man. Go sit in the doctor's office and kiss doctors' asses in sales like I did for the 4 years I was out of the business. It's not fun. Not that there's anything wrong with sales. Trust me, it's a great living, but I just don't have the personality where I can kiss people's asses. It's just not me. So the point is, I don't think you guys like kissing asses either. So learn how to trade correctly, and you can work for yourself. That's what I'm getting at. All right, I was just looking at Hero. The Hero's kind of moving with the market today. So it is what it is. This is a perfect example. Sometimes this information leads. Sometimes it doesn't. Just like sometimes my setups work. Not my setups. These setups work. Sometimes they don't. They work more often than they don't. That's the edge. There is no more to it, guys. If you think there's some magic bullet, some magic indicator that's going to win 100% of the time or 90% of the time, even 80% of the time, I question anyone who says they're winning 80% of the time. That's not, just taking 2 ticks. And that still doesn't work out in the long run with commission and everything else. It's basically lying to you. So, and guys, anyone out there, any of these, these educators that want to go head to head with me, we'll do a trading competition. We'll do it we'll have it a decent sample size. Let's do a quarter. I'm more than open to it. Bring it on. Anyone out there that's a trading educator that wants to do this, and we're going to put some serious money on the line, and whoever had most profitable will come up with the rules. What I'm telling you is, most traders, they're saying they're 80%, they're full of shit. And the other thing I'm saying is, you're not going to get a more powerful edge than this, in my opinion. And I'm willing to prove it. And I show you guys every day. I've been trading live on these things for 5 years, right? And I trade live twice a day in my trading room. So if the shit didn't work, pardon my language, it would be exposed immediately. So that's all I got to tell you guys. I'm getting on a rant now. All right, so this did swipe down a little more. I would have already been, remember, I got out of 2 a little early. Now I really would have been on a 2 because it kind of reacted at that prior event. So I would have been on a 2. Now my stop's in. Now what I could do is potentially trade this as well. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting all of a sudden. I haven't gotten any of your questions. And you can see this is usually an important indicator on algo guy. Tried to pull across, couldn't even get the space. See this, like the space there, that didn't hold either. This is the second time this thing's tried to pull, it didn't hold. I will be willing to bet. It's just a bet. It's not, nothing's guaranteed that this thing's going to get killed now. I already said that earlier too. I didn't want to really be long. I didn't get long down there. You could have got that quick move out of here. But I still think these markets are in trouble, and that's just one thesis using the algo guy to determine, okay, what's going on. So anyway, with this new zone, then I'll get to your questions. I got to get off here like at 9:30 exactly because I got a meeting. I was at 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. Sorry. Hold on. What was I going to show you here? Lost my train of thought. Oh, the new zone. So let's check something out here. So if for this new zone, if this market touches 70.50. Wait. Yeah, 70.50. It's a short setup. So I can take both bark. This is what I tried the first time, right? I got stopped out, but I got stopped because of my new event. I lost a little bit. I'll do the same thing again here. You see down there that, this isn't crazy liquidity. You're going to be entering right at this liquidity, but that's not, I don't have that as part of my trade plan where I won't get in the trade if it's sitting at liquidity, right? But I will put on the bark and the lick trade. And the lick trade's going for that at 41.50. And I'll get out down there. For the lick, the bark trade, then I'll use my other areas that I get out. Right? And that's all in here. So basically nothing, I don't even have any prior market profile. I got to go back and build those because they were from a long, long time ago. Anyway, blue lug. It's blue lug or bust here if I go short. On my current short, I'm still short, so it's blue lug or bust. You could get out of a couple here at spot gamma levels. Another important thing of spot gamma. Why? Because these are where these are where the most options are in the market, all these levels. Dealers have to hedge here, so use them as support or resistance. It's that simple. They are big market players. So just, if this comes down here, and you can see this is probably a lot of them. That's what that liquidity is. So for my current short, if this does bounce off this liquidity, I will get out of a couple more, and then I'm just going to leave. I only have 4 on. I'll get out of 2 more, and then I'm going to try to ride one to the blue lug. Right? These are areas that I pay myself as I'm correct. So keep an eye on that. In the meantime, if this does touch that validation price, 70.50, this is a bearish setup, and I will put on new shorts. I'm already short Izzy, and then I'll put on Bark and Lick. If you guys are just popping in here saying, what the hell is he talking about? It's these trading strategies. I'm already short Izzy. I got short aggressively. I didn't wait for a retest, and it didn't retest. That's why I get in those trades aggressive. Bark is, this is wrong now. I'm using Algorithmic all the time to confirm it. Anyway, it's just a ATR. It's just a blind. You could trade these blindly. There's a guy in my room that I'm mentoring. He just trades all these blindly, and he's still killing it because this is the edge, like I've been telling you. ATR retest failure. He gets on every one. That's what that trade is. And then I'll take the lick too. It's basically the same thing. Blind. It's an ATR retest failure, but my main target is the liquidity, and that's that one at 40.50 down here. All right, a couple questions. I got to hop off, but I will add to these shorts here for different strategies, not the Izzy trade. But other than that, I'm holding Izzy. I'll get out of a couple here if it struggles at the spot gamma level. If not, I'm holding down to the blue lug. Where are we at? Blue lug is at 57. All right, see if you guys have any questions. I literally have like 5 minutes. Let's see. Discord invite I see when I subscribe to Bookmap is invalid. How do I get invalid? I don't. That Hugo, that's something for Bookmap. I'm not part of their support. Everyone's saying good morning. Good morning. Space Cowboy, love you, man. Always a good time here. Don't know tech, but he can teach trade his ass off. Thank you. Yes, I certainly do. Tech's not my strong point. So below 89 quarters short for that zone higher. Yes, that's where I went short. That was in the spreadsheet. Hopefully you took it. Not that I want you guys to mirror my trades, but if you understand what's going on, you should have taken that. Actually, let's keep this up on this screen. Sorry, so you can watch it. All right, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to get, if it struggles at this liquidity and it's also spot gamma level, again, that's this. It's already predetermined. I'm not just trading by the seat of my pants here. My exits right here. Spot gamma level. Struggle to get through resting liquidity. I will get out of a couple more. I don't get out of all of them, but I'll piece out of them, right? I'm paying myself as I'm correct. This is already a 15-point winner, right? So you see, guys, it's just probabilities. I took a loss on this first short. I shorted that. Boom, boom. I got new. I took a small loss. Put on the next one, 15-point winner. That's why you put as many as possible on to take advantage of the edge, just like a casino. Every week we talk about it. They just keep dealing. They have one guy smoke them and beat them. They don't just fold the game up. They do ridiculous things in limiting players. But my point is they don't shut down the casino because they have a couple guys winning. Neither should you stop trading and be afraid to trade. Be afraid of that bad dog. Keep putting the trade on because the next good dog that's going to hug you and lick your face is right around the corner. All right. I'm not seeing many questions in here, so thank you. Oh, Bookmap put that in. Scott, could you please explain your Izzy zone again? It was a little late for me, but this was an important area. So this was, if you see the zones stretch back, that means it was something from a long time ago. And they're still, and I will keep them if I keep seeing the market, respond off of them. So this zone kind of held yesterday, and then today it gapped down from here. Sorry, wrong color. And then it moved away, and it came back into the zone. Again, you can get these zones either in my room for free, or you can subscribe. It's like $24 a month. Guys, these zones are incredible. This is like the second strongest thing you can trade off of, next to Ludwig levels, in my opinion, on their own. But I still don't trade on their own. I still need to see the volume subs. So the market moved back into this zone. There was this stop run, and I took the short. And it's working nicely right now, right? So here, this I should have just been out of 2 there. Of course, see, this is the problem when I'm on the webinars. It's like I can't watch this closely. That came close enough. And now they're swiping it. So I'm going to get out of 2 more. I just cost myself like 8 points. It is what it is. All right, so remember I said, so this is the other thing too, guys. You don't have to wait. You shouldn't wait for this liquidity to fill. Why? It most likely will eventually, but if you don't want to go through this nonsense, it's these algos picking up the size and they run it away. So if it gets close and it starts to run away, that's where you want to use your bubbles. You see blue bubbles coming in, or you guys have green. I use blue because I'm colorblind. Get out of some, right? It probably will fill because whoever this is probably going to push the market into these orders. That's what I used to do, right? That's how I know what's going on in here. But I got out of 2 more. Now I'm not going to get out any more here because I just got out of some. Again, I just cost myself 8 points or 6 points. Now I'm trading for blue lug. And I will go short off of this new setup if this occurs. We've already talked about this. We get ATR. We said 70.5. Make sure you stay on top of your ATR though. 70.5 is to confirm it's a bearish setup. Retest failure. I'm going to take a bark and a lick short. Those are different strategies. I'm already short Izzy, and I don't take shorts in that. Oh my God, I'm on the wrong screen, guys. Sorry about that. I knew I was going to do that eventually on this webinar. Sorry. Gosh, this whole time I've been on the wrong screen. Sorry. Quickly, I knew I was going to do that. I avoided doing it the whole time because I just switched monitors, like I said. Anyway, Deborah, I'm sorry. This was the Izzy zone. Market came back into it. Stop event. Got short. And then what I was showing you here, this market ran away from liquidity. It came close to this. See how I picked this up? And then I ran it away. It's probably going to fill it, but if you don't want to go through this, you just get out when it starts to run away. Use your bubbles. That's what I was showing you guys. Sorry, I was on the wrong screen. It's been kind of a shit show on the, pardon my language, on the technology stuff today. 4150 was the largest volume of the year. So yeah, well, if you're short, I'd be getting out of some down there. Good dog. What's the configuration of those yellow lines? What yellow lines? Alejandro. This stuff, this is the SI indicator. On this, these are my inflection zones. We talked about this. That's not even yellow, is it? It's red. So you can get those in my trade room for free, or you can subscribe. I just showed you guys. That's on this here. I already lost it. This here, no, that's my regular website, so you can get the course stuff here. So just click on this. This is the old course. I offer that half price now because there's so much more information in this new one. It's like 5 hours long, and I can add stuff too. So you get everything in here. And if you remember my room, you get a discount to this too. So join my room and then let me know, and I'll give you a discount. And then otherwise, what I was showing you was this here. You can get the spreadsheet. This is worth. It's priceless in my opinion. And then you can get the zone charts that I just showed you, or you can get both. If you're not a member of my room, you get both of these for free. All right, I think that's it. Let me see. I'm already past. I got to get on this meeting. So, oops, sorry. All right, no other questions. All right, guys, sorry for the tech stuff, though, but I mean, hopefully you get the gist of what we're doing here. I tell you every single week, from my 25 years of experience in trading millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of contracts, this is the best edge I've ever seen. Utilize it in your trading. If you're not using this stuff, you just don't have all the information, period. So, again, I do this twice a day in my trade room. Hope to see you guys in there. Sorry about all the tech